This is the first time I am playing on this. What's up? It's Joe. ¿Cómo está? And yeah, it's a nice string guitar. My housemate is moving out, and he is on the fence right now about giving this thing to me. So I might actually get it for free. I'm pretty mind blown. This is the first time I'm playing on this thing, and there's a lot of new things about it. I hope my housemate doesn't change his mind about giving it to me. I would be thrilled to have an 8-string guitar as a Tosin Abasi fanboy. It is a beast. It's hard to play for many different reasons, and we're gonna go over those reasons right now. First of all, as a guitar player, if you play any sort of like high distortion rock guitar, you have to be able to mute the lower strings, especially because the lower strings really have a life of their own when you try to play leads. It is hard enough as a beginner player to learn how to play leads while muting with your right hand on the lower strings. I mean, that's just a go-to. You watch any of the pros do their thing, they are most likely always trying to mute with their palm muting right hand part on the lower strings. And I'm trying to do that here. It's so hard because you now have to have the breadth of hand, so to speak, to be able to mute across what is essentially about 4 to 5 lower strings if you include the D string. It's really hard to mute all these lower notes while trying to play leads on the 3 thin strings. I mean, I'm trying to play all my typical fast go-to licks on this thing, and it's like 10 times harder. Might be an exaggeration, but at least 5 times harder, because now I have to really be mindful of my muting while alternate picking. It's difficult. Alternate pick, you wanna, as much as possible, try to be able to use more wrist instead of coming from your elbow, because if you can come more from your wrist, the more you can relax the overall alternate picking technique that you do. Learning how to relax the alternate picking technique on the 6th string is hard enough. Trying to mute while relaxing your wrist, while alternate picking across 4 to 5 thicker strings is really difficult. It's just crazy hard. So now I sound like a beginner again with all the typical noises that come with being a beginner. It's like back to square one on this thing. I've had to mess with my settings a bit on the amp. I've had to put my bass down all the way to 0 to make that sound as clear as possible. I've also had to turn up the volume a bit just to get a little more oomph out of the guitar. Animals' leaders, Tosin apparently tunes the lowest string all the way down to an E, so he can play. He can play chords with just one finger for the 3 lowest strings. And then as far as soloing is concerned, there's not a lot of new theory thinking you have to do for the 6 higher strings, because it's the same tuning as a typical 6-string guitar. E, A, D, G, B, E. And so all your typical all applies here. Yeah, it all nicely applies to the lower 6 strings. Theory-wise, you're soloing. It's just that now you have the muting issue and the palm muting issue to deal with. And yeah, that's the thing now. So I hope that my housemate who's moving out of the house that I currently live in decides that it's a good idea to give this to me. This is my first time playing an 8-string. I hope you enjoyed my foray into 8-string territory for the first time. And I hope you try it if you ever come across one. Especially if you're an Animals as Leaders fanboy, just like I am. Don't be afraid to try it. Just go for it. And just like I'm going for it. You gotta try new things if you want to try and be awesome like Tosin and Bassi. And yeah, this is an 8-string guitar. I hope the things that I pointed out also help you play an 8-string guitar better if you decide to get one. So muting, palm muting, and just muting in general when you want to play leads becomes way harder, and you have to mess with your amp settings to get clarity out of the lowest strings. Overview, those will be the things you have to watch out for when you play with an 8 numero string guitar. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next one. Ta!